Hey guys, it's Tanya, aka La Alemana, and today I want you to donate something, anything, to this amazing children's charity called Heartbeat Vietnam. Not just because I already did, but because I was actually born with holes in my heart, and if I would have been born in the country these children are born in every single day, I possibly would not be here today sharing my love of bachata with all of you. So please click the link and give today, and keep listening if you want to hear my story on how I became the bachatera with holes in her heart. So it started when I was about 3 years old when we visited my godmother at her work. She was a nurse, and I, being the curious child that I was, which by the way still hasn't changed to this day, wanted to play around with the ultrasound machine. Now many people are actually born with holes in their heart, but usually they close up at birth, and mine unfortunately did not. So now I had what doctors call a congenital heart defect. Awesome. Anyways, from that day on, tests started. I saw a cardiologist constantly. I had to take all types of medication. Even going to the dentist required me to take penicillin beforehand just to make sure that my heart didn't get affected. Then at the age of around 5, I went in for surgery. It was a simple procedure. All they had to do was take this tiny camera up my groin to take a closer look at my heart to see what could or couldn't be done. And while I was in the hospital, I had a roommate. He was a boy, and he was about 3 years older than me, but still the same size as me, with the same diagnosis, but much more severe. Because you see, when you have holes in your heart, or you have a congenital heart defect, your heart doesn't function like a normal one. You don't get as much oxygen pumped through your body. And we all know how much oxygen is important. So even the simplest tasks like walking will get you out of breath. And what's the physical sign if there's not enough oxygen present? Blue lips, blue fingernails. And my roommate had both of them constantly. And a few years later, we found out, unfortunately, that he passed away. So now at the age of 33, I find myself still struggling with the defect. Fortunately for me, however, I've had constant access to medical care to make sure my heart has been monitored and was taken care of properly. And luckily for me, one of the holes closed on its own, with the help of my own heart. One of the flaps apparently, I don't know the medical term, decided to help close the hole, but I still have one that's about 7 millimeters in diameter. And once it gets, if it gets to 10 millimeters, I have the option of getting some surgery. Many children and families around the world, especially in Vietnam, don't have that type of luck or even opportunity. Many of these children actually die before their 18th birthday, leaving the families to pick up the rest of the pieces. And that's why this cause and organization has become so incredibly close to my heart. There's a way to save so many children, and that's why I personally donated directly to one of the children to make sure she gets her surgery, her medical care right away so she can go on living and just be a kid without the fear of losing her breath because she decided to play on the playground with her friends. The surgery and medical care for one child costs about $1,200 US dollars. And I know many of you are not able to give that much, so don't panic. But if you can, you have no idea what kind of difference you would be making for that child and also their family. If you can't, that's totally okay. Literally any donation will help. Remember, we're all connected to each other, and we need to look out for one another to help make sure that we all have the opportunities to live a long and healthy life. So please click the link. Donate whatever amount your heart tells you to give. Thanks, guys.